I want to talk about something that I think is deeply misunderstood and, honestly, a little bit misrepresented in our culture: the connection that can form between a younger woman and an older man. It's so often painted with a broad, cynical brush, reduced to a transactional cliche that misses the heart of the matter entirely. But from what I've seen in my own life and in the lives of my friends, when this connection is genuine, it's usually something far more nuanced, more complex, and more profoundly human. I believe there are two fundamental languages of attraction. The first is the language of potential, which is often spoken between peers. It's about shared futures, parallel growth, and figuring things out together. It's exciting and beautiful. But there is a second language, one that is quieter and spoken less often. It's the language of presence. This is the language of a man who is not defined by his potential, but by his reality. A man who has already weathered some storms, knows who he is, and carries a certain gravity, a certain settledness in his own skin. When a younger woman is genuinely drawn to a man who speaks this second language, the signals she sends are often different. They're not the loud, obvious gestures of performative flirting you might be used to. They are quieter, more subtle, and rooted in a different kind of attraction altogether. It's an attraction that often has less to do with surface level looks or status, and more to do with a feeling of stability, depth, and an intriguing emotional safety that she may not find in men who are still caught up in the language of potential. And because these signals are so subtle, whispered in a language not everyone is fluent in, they are so easily missed. A man might misinterpret her genuine curiosity as mere friendliness or her deep respect as simple politeness. And in that misunderstanding, a potential for a real, meaningful connection can just fade away, leaving both people wondering what could have been. Here's the core truth we need to start with: this isn't about games or secrets. It's about bridging a gap in life experience. But let's be honest for a moment and address the hesitation that many men in this position feel. There is often a legitimate fear of misinterpretation, the fear of coming across as the cliché, of having your intentions misunderstood, or of inadvertently making her feel uncomfortable. This fear can cause a man to hold back, to be overly cautious, and to miss the very signals we're about to discuss. It creates a hesitancy that can be misinterpreted as disinterest, creating a cycle of missed connections. Understanding this dynamic isn't about becoming a predator, it's about becoming a better, more perceptive, and more responsible communicator. It's about learning to see the difference between genuine, respectful curiosity and simple, platonic friendliness. When a younger woman shows interest, she's often navigating a space where she feels a mix of admiration, curiosity, and maybe even a little healthy intimidation. She's not playing hard to get. She's often proceeding with caution, trying to connect in a way that feels respectful and safe for both of you. She's wondering, does he see me as a person or just as a younger woman? Your ability to see her and to respond with grounded, respectful warmth is the key that unlocks everything. So today, we're not going to talk about tactics or tricks. We're going to have an honest, in-depth conversation about 8 real, authentic signs that a younger woman is interested in you. We'll explore what these signals actually mean from her perspective, why they manifest, and how you can respond in a way that builds a bridge of genuine connection, not a flimsy scaffold of confusion. The first sign is one that can really throw a man off if he's not expecting it. She playfully teases you about your age. This might sound like a sarcastic comment about your taste in classic movies, a joke that you probably listened to a certain song on a record player, or a playful jab about you knowing some ancient history. Now, a man's insecurity can immediately hear the alarm bells. His ego might frame this as an insult, a way of highlighting a perceived disadvantage. But I want you to pause and look deeper. This isn't disrespect, it's an icebreaker of the highest order. The age difference is the most obvious thing in the room, the elephant, so to speak, and her teasing is a low-pressure, playful way of pointing at it and asking if you can both laugh about it. She's essentially testing the foundation. She's asking, can we have fun with this? Are you comfortable enough in your own skin to acknowledge this difference with humor, or is it a source of insecurity for you? How you respond in this single moment is everything. It's a critical fork in the road. If you get defensive, look annoyed, or awkwardly shut down, the message you send is, you've hit a nerve. This is a sore spot for me. I am insecure. And that insecurity is often the very dynamic she's trying to get away from in the less developed men her own age. The connection hits a wall. But if you can smile, genuinely smile, and lean into the joke with a warm, self assured humor, you've just passed the test with flying colors. If she says, wow, you were probably in high school in the 90s, a perfect response isn't a defensive it wasn't that long ago. It's a laughing, guilty as charged. We had to survive dial up internet and everything. It built character. By doing this, you're not just showing confidence, you're creating a shared moment of levity. You're telling her you're so comfortable in your own skin that you don't take yourself too seriously. That comfort is contagious. It gives her permission to relax, and it shows her exactly what she was hoping to find, a man who is grounded. That is incredibly attractive. This next sign is often mistaken for simple politeness or mentorship. She consistently asks for your advice or your perspective on things, her career path, a creative project she's working on, or even a tricky situation with her friends or family. It's easy for a man to think she's only after the information, that he is being placed in the role of a father figure or a professor. But more often than not, the advice itself is secondary. What she's really seeking is connection through the advice. It's a vehicle for a deeper conversation. It's a legitimate reason to engage with you, to be in your orbit, and to see how your mind works. She genuinely values your perspective because you've navigated more of life's complexities, but she's also creating a context for the two of you to connect on a more meaningful level than just casual small talk. The mistake many men make here is to immediately slip into lecture mode. They puff up their chest, stand on a soapbox, and deliver a long, impersonal speech on what she should do. This instantly creates a hierarchical dynamic that kills any potential for romantic spark. It becomes a teacher-student relationship, and the connection dies. A far more powerful and attractive approach is to turn it from a monologue into a dialogue. When she asks for your advice, your first move shouldn't be to provide an answer. It should be to ask a question back. Something like, that's a really interesting challenge. Tell me more about what you've already considered, or what's your gut feeling on how to handle it? By doing this, you accomplish several brilliant things at once. First, you show that you respect her intelligence and intuition. You're not treating her like a helpless child. You're treating her like a capable adult who you believe has the answer within her. Second, you invite her to open up more, to give you more context, which deepens the conversation. You become a collaborator in her thought process, not just a lecturer from on high. This subtle shift is transformative. It shows her you're not just a man with experience. You are a man who listens, who respects, and who empowers. That combination is profoundly rare and deeply magnetic. As we continue, I hope you see the pattern emerging here. These signs are not just random behaviors. They are bids for connection. She's reaching across a generational gap, trying to see if you're who she hopes you are, a man who is confident, stable, and genuinely interested in who she is as a complete person, not just a novelty. Recognizing this is the first step. Responding with warmth, presence, and respect is how you build the bridge. The next two signs are beautiful because they are almost entirely subconscious. They're involuntary signals from her nervous system that a real, unspoken rapport is building between you. The first is that she mirrors your body language. You'll lean in to make a point, and a moment later, without a thought, she'll lean in too. You might cross your arms in a moment of thought, and she'll shift to a similar position. This isn't conscious mimicry. It's a subconscious dance of connection. Our brains are filled with what are called mirror neurons, and they are designed to fire when we observe someone else's actions. It's the foundation of empathy and rapport. When her body is mirroring yours, her subconscious mind is essentially saying, I feel comfortable with you. I feel aligned with you. We are in sync. The best response isn't to tactically mirror her back, but to simply relax and recognize it as a quiet confirmation that the connection you're building is real and being felt on a neurological level. The second subconscious sign is that she complements your character, not just your looks or possessions. A younger woman is constantly surrounded by men her age who are often focused on surface-level validation, their clothes, their car, their physique. When she's drawn to an older man, it's often because she sees qualities he has cultivated over time that younger men are still developing. So her compliments will sound different. They will be more specific and more profound. Instead of nice shirt, she'll say, I really admire how you handle stressful situations with such calm. Instead of cool car, she'll say, you have a very calming and present energy about you. She is literally telling you, in no uncertain terms, what she finds uniquely attractive about you. She sees your stability, your patience, your groundedness. The worst thing you can do is brush it off with a self-deprecating comment. That dismisses her perception and signals that you don't see those qualities in yourself. The best response is simple, warm, and heartfelt. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I really appreciate you noticing that. By accepting it gracefully, you validate her insight and affirm the very quality she finds attractive. These next two signs involve a little more vulnerability on her part. They are her way of gently testing the waters of trust, comfort, and acknowledgement. The first is that she finds subtle ways to break the touch barrier. It will likely never be an overt gesture. It's a light, almost accidental, lingering touch on the arm as she laughs at your joke. It's a playful nudge when you're standing next to each other. It's her hand brushing yours for a second longer than necessary when she hands you something. These small gestures are significant. They're quiet questions. The question is it safe for me to get closer to you? How will you react to this small advance? If you stiffen up, pull away, or ignore it completely, the answer you're sending is a resounding no. But if you can receive it with a calm, warm presence and perhaps reciprocate with a similarly light, respectful touch later on, the answer is yes. You don't need to overreact or make it a big deal. Your relaxed comfort is your answer. You're signaling that you're comfortable with the chemistry and that her gesture was received safely. The second test of trust is that she seeks your acknowledgement through her actions. She might share a recent personal or professional accomplishment with you, or show you a creative project she's incredibly proud of. On the surface, she's just sharing news. But underneath, she's sharing a part of her world and hoping that you, specifically, will see its value. She's making a bid for connection. She's not just looking for a generic good job or that's nice. She's hoping to feel truly seen by you. The most powerful thing you can do is acknowledge the specific effort and the person behind it. Don't just praise the outcome, praise the quality it reveals. Instead of the painting is beautiful, try the way you use those colors shows you have a really unique perspective. I can see how much thought went into this. That kind of specific, personal recognition makes her feel seen, valued, and understood on a level that creates a powerful emotional bond. This next sign is one of my favorites because it's so full of life, energy, and spark. She playfully challenges you. She might question your opinion on a movie with a grin, make a lighthearted bet with you, or playfully disagree with something you say. Again, this is not disrespect. This is not an attack on your authority. This is a test, but it's not a test of your ego. It's a test of your groundedness. She wants to know, can you be challenged without getting defensive? Can you hold your own without becoming arrogant or dismissive? Can you enjoy a little spark of dynamic, back and forth energy? The insecure man gets rattled. He might become condescending to reestablish his authority, or he might back down awkwardly, afraid of the conflict. The grounded man, however, thrives in this space. He meets her playful challenge with an equally playful, confident energy. He doesn't need to win the argument. He just enjoys the dance. This shows her that he is not easily thrown off his center. He is a stable force. And for many women, that kind of unshakable, calm confidence is the ultimate form of safety, and it is incredibly attractive. And this brings us to a final, more advanced sign. This is what happens when the initial attraction and comfort have solidified into a genuine, budding connection. She starts to adopt your language and share your interests. This goes a step beyond mirroring. Mirroring is subconscious and in the moment. This is a conscious and deliberate choice to bring a piece of your world into hers. You might notice her using a particular turn of phrase or an adjective that you use often. You'll recommend a documentary, and a week later, she'll bring it up, having not only watched it, but having thoughtful opinions on it. She'll ask you about your hobbies, not just in a polite, cursory way, but with specific, curious questions. She is making an active effort to learn your language, to understand your passions, and to build a bridge of shared context between your two worlds. This is a profound sign of investment. It's her way of saying, I don't just like Hyur when I'm with you. I am interested in the world that shaped you. I want to understand what you love, and I want to be able to share in it with you. When you see this happening, it's a clear signal that the connection is moving from a place of simple attraction to one of deep, intellectual, and emotional rapport. The best way to respond is with genuine enthusiasm and reciprocity. Share your passions openly, and, just as importantly, make an equal effort to step into her world, to understand what she loves with that same level of curiosity. So, as we look back at these 8 signs, from the playful teasing about your age to the subconscious mirroring, from the compliments on your character to her adopting your interests, I hope you see the common thread that weaves through them all. Attraction, especially in this context, is rarely about loud, flashy gestures. It's about a quiet, growing sense of respect, emotional safety, and genuine, person to person connection. These signals are not a checklist to be scored or a game to be won. They are simply windows into her emotional experience. They're invitations. And the most confident, mature, and attractive thing you can do is to respond to them not with tactics, but with kindness, with respect, and with your own authentic presence. This is not about being a perfect man. It's about being a present one. And once that connection is established, once you both recognize that there is a genuine spark of mutual interest and respect, the journey then shifts to one of open communication. The subtle signals pave the way for clearer conversations about intentions, feelings, and where you both see things going. The signs are the beginning of the conversation, not the end of it. They build the foundation of comfort and trust that is necessary for the kind of honest dialogue that all healthy relationships are built on. So I'm curious, and I'd love to hear your story. Has there ever been a time when you've completely misinterpreted one of these signs, either seeing something that wasn't there, or perhaps looking back now and realizing you missed something that was? Share your experience in the comments below. There's no judgment here, only a desire for all of us to learn from each other and to understand the complexities of the human heart a little bit better. If this kind of honest, in-depth conversation helps you, consider subscribing and joining our community. My name is Olivia, and I'll see you in the next one.